You are listening to PowerScore's Featured Law Schools podcast series. Today's featured law school is the University of California at Davis. Currently ranked number 28 by the U.S. News & World Report, UC Davis Law has a total full-time enrollment of 628 students and currently costs a little over $33,000 for students in-state and a little over $44,000 for students who are out-of-state. For the class that entered in 2009, from about 3,000 applicants, less than 35% were accepted. Finally, when it came to the admission for the fall of 2009, the median LSAT score was a 163, while the median GPA was a 3.51. Representing UC Davis in our podcast today is the Dean of the Law School, Kevin Johnson, and current third-year student, Esmeralda Sora. Dean Johnson believes that the UC Davis family is what makes his school different than most. The students, teachers, and alumni help make the school and experience you receive at the school unique.
Well, I think that this doesn't necessarily make us different, but we're an excellent law school. And what does make us different is that we have a wonderful community of students, teachers, staff, alums, and students that make all the difference. This is a relatively small law school, about 190 people in every entering class, and it's a very supportive environment for students. We do have, obviously, excellence on our faculty, both in terms of teaching and scholarship, and at the same time we have a commitment of our professors to our students and to teaching in a way it's really unique, especially among the elite law schools in the United States. So I think, in my mind, what really makes us different is the difference in community. Now, we're housed in a building, Martin Luther King Jr. Hall, and we often refer to the community as the King Hall community. And I think the difference that we have is that we have a community of scholars, teachers, and students that make learning fun and supportive as well as challenging and rigorous.
And though UC Davis has become more selective in their admission process, Dean Johnson wants the applicants to know that though LSAT scores and GPA are important, making yourself stand out on your application can be just as important.
Well, I think that it's a very competitive environment for law school applicants, and every year it seems to be getting a little more competitive. Our applications went up, over 22% this past year, which is about triple the national average. And I think part of the reason for that is because of the upward trajectory in our U.S. News rankings. So I think that applicants should know that it's a competitive environment, but also they should know that we look very carefully not just at the LSAT score and the GPA, but we look carefully at the entire applicant, the entire file. The personal statement is critically important to our admissions committee and our admissions professionals who review the applications. The letters of recommendation also are very important. So I think that we are looking for excellence in our students, and there's a lot of excellent students to choose from. And the place where applicants get to distinguish themselves and to make themselves more of a person is the personal statement and the letters of recommendation. So I'd encourage applicants to look very carefully at what they submit in their personal statement. I mean, obviously, some things are kind of clear. You should have a very carefully done, typo-free personal statement. Actually, the one that we almost get every year from some student in our applicant pool is something like, UC Hastings is my first choice of law schools, or UC Davis. And I know that there's a lot of applications people have to do, and they have to use the word processor, but be careful in what you submit and make sure you got things going to the right schools.
Dean Johnson goes on to say that not every law school is right for each applicant, so his advice to visit the schools is highly important so you get a sense of if the school is a good fit for you.
You should try to narrow things down to a group of schools, and you want to focus on academic excellence, and you also want to focus on a school that's going to work for you. Not every school, not every undergraduate college is for everybody, not every law school is for everybody. And so I think it's very important to visit the law school, talk to students, and not just on the internet. It's good to go to a school and talk to students and find out what's really going on at a school. Is the environment what is being advertised? Is it a less than supportive environment, or is it a supportive environment? I think that it's very important to talk to students and get a sense of what they think of the school. I also think it's important to talk to some professors and sit in on a class, get a feel for what it'd be like to be a student at a particular school. And if you can't get a hold of a professor, and if you can't get into a class for some reason, that's telling you a fair amount about the law school to begin with. And if and if you can't do a visit, I just still think it's important to make phone calls and talk to people, do your due diligence, because law schools that are comparably ranked, I'm not saying you should always go by the rankings, but even those that are comparably ranked, they may differ in terms of employment, in terms of community feel, in terms of commitment to teaching, and other important things that students view as very relevant to legal education.
And though Dean Johnson has great advice for potential UC Davis students, a current third year at UC Davis, Esmeralda Sora, says that the surroundings at UC Davis gives a sense of family.
I think it's a great place to be just because I feel like it's usually when I hear other students talk about their law school experience, I feel like they say it's a very competitive atmosphere, and I think it's in contrary here. The students are very open to working with each other and helping each other out. So I think that it's a good environment to be in. Obviously, it is stressful, but I think that the student body in general provides a sense of kind of family away from home, and the faculty and administration just make it a better place.
And Esmeralda also says that the student life at UC Davis offers a wide variety of opportunities for its students, from journals to diversity organizations to something you develop on your own.
There's a very wide selection, so you can be involved in various organizations. I'm particularly interested in diversity issues, and also the Latino community is very important to me. So I was involved this last year, was co-chair of La Raza Law Students Association. So I was very involved with that, and then also with the Coalition for Diversity, so addressing issues of diversity in the law school and in the legal profession as a whole. But there's everything you can think of. There's organizations for Asian American law students, for the Black students, for the Middle Eastern students. There's Federalist Society, Women, Lambda for LGBT students. There's a wide range of journals that you can be involved in, and there's opportunities also for new organizations and new ideas. I know that the Latino students at Davis are kind of working to get a Latino law journal going. I know other law students have that, so there's always opportunities for new ideas, and I think that the school really fosters that. If students bring new ideas, they're open to embracing those.
And finally, Esmeralda says that choosing UC Davis was an easy decision for her, and believes it could be for other students as well.
It's an easy decision in terms of when you come and speak to the students. Students are happy to be at King Hall. I think for the most part, if you speak to any King Hall graduate and student, they speak so highly of our law school just because everyone is very works together and very helpful towards each other in making, the 3 years at the law school. I don't know, at least for me, when I made the decision, I met with faculty and administration, and I just felt that they were there to support the students, and I think that made a big difference when I made my decision, basing on the fact that it was a smaller school, so I would get a chance to interact with most of the students in my class, and I get a chance to really meet faculty and administration, which I think is a big part in our academic setting.
Thank you for listening to PowerScore's podcast series. If you want more information on PowerScore's podcasts or services, please visit PowerScore.com. Or you can call 1-800-545-1750.